One of the key traits that we look for in new hires of leaders and even sales executives is futuristic thinking. Now, why is futuristic thinking so important? It's because when you're being given the mandate to lead a group or lead an organization, the expectation is not that you're going to do the same results, but you're going to do it some better results. And the only way you're going to improve is if you can think out into the future, see where the opportunities are, and see what needs to be done in order to get there. So in order to be a futuristic thinker, you have to be innovative, but you also need to think strategically. You got to think about where you want to go. The old quote that we've always heard about Wayne Gretzky is that he said the key to his success was not going after the puck, it was going to where he knew the puck would be coming to. He was ahead of the game. So I need you to think strategically. Where does the organization need to go? And then what are the key positions to get there? And who are the right people to do it? Once you've identified that, and that's going to take you some time, but once you've identified that, now you need to have your people do their individual futuristic thinking and come up with their strategic plan. What are the results that they're going to be going after and how they're going to do it? And then present the plan to you. I learned this the hard way because when I was in the computer sales, we had to do this. We were part of an 8-man team, and every year we had to go to Las Vegas, let's say, where we'd be staying at the La Quinta. Now you may say, oh, it's big travel and these guys are going to play golf. Let me tell you something, we played golf. But those Bootstrap meetings, they were 12 vicious hours in a dark room going over 8 strategic plans. You think that's fun? With a senior vice president picking holes at everything to see where you're full of you know what? You get out of that, trust me, you need to go play golf. You need to let the energy out. But that was a school of hard knocks. That was really good training. But what I learned from that was, you know, when you do a plan, and people are forced to do a plan, there's 2 parts to the plan. There's reality, and then there's the fluff, the hope. And that's not a good plan because if part of it's based on fluff, you probably now don't have a strong plan to get to the future results that you want. So if you're really going to be an effective leader, you're going to ask that your people do their own kind of plan. Present the plan. Let them present it in front of each other. Have a whole group meeting. Dedicate a day or 2 off-site and go through these strategic plans. When you go through these plans, the idea is not to criticize people. The idea is just to ask questions. Find out where they're going to go. What market segments are they going to be going after to get to those numbers? Who are they going to be looking at? What resources do they need? And your job is simple. Just to make sure that their plan, the actions are strong enough to get to the results that they're after and the results that you're after. And they'll see if there's holes in a plan. They may not like it initially, but the fact that you're having them see where the errors of their way are, and by addressing it before the clock starts running, they can at least readdress the plan, strengthen it, so at the end of the day, they are successful. And you have to pitch it that way. You have to pitch it saying, I know there's a lot of work, but my job is to make you successful. So let's look at it, how we're going to do it. Let's see if there's any holes we have to fill the gaps in, and then let's fill them in, and let's go out there and be successful. But at the end of the day, if we don't plan, nothing will get done, and you won't achieve futuristic results. You know, the old saying is this. You ever get on a plane and speak to the pilot and saying, well, to the pilot, where we're going? He goes, I have no clue. Would you stay on that plane? You know, you can go to Miami from New York, and all roads will get you there, but what's the best road? So the key to any kind of plan to the future is identify where you want to be and make sure the plan supports it. We all will agree that Steve Jobs is probably the poster child for what futuristic thinking is all about. He just didn't want to build Apple on current products and technology. He created a new way of living. He didn't want to do the same thing. He wanted to create a new way of how we entertained ourselves or how we communicated. He did that with the iPod, which is a new way of getting music into your ears. But then he started looking at the phones, you know, not the smartphones we have today, but the ones, you know, the old ones, the digital ones that you flipped up, the flip phones. And he didn't really assess the market. He just went around the room and said to his peers, what don't you like about the phone and what do you wish it had? And when they came up with the wishes, he goes, let's go figure out how to do it. Because if we want it, there's a good bet that our markets want it. And so he was always thinking ahead and always pushing his people to keep thinking ahead, not to settle for less and to make it happen. So think big, think future, and then make sure you have the right plan in place and make sure your people have the right plan in place, because remember, your success as a leader is not based on your efforts. It's based, come on, you got it, give it to me, give it to me. It's based on the sum total of all your team's efforts.